The digital age is darker than ever. Artificial intelligence has been unleashed. Trust no one. Nothing is real anymore. Is the new world order upon us? The new series, Shadows of Fire, starts right now. Scene 1. Exterior Milan. Night rain-drenched streets. A sleek black sedan tears through the narrow streets. The rain falls relentlessly, reflecting its blinding headlights onto the slick, wet roads. Inside the car, Luca Ferry 40, fit physique, his gaze marked by the weight of his past, grips the steering wheel with determination. From the rearview mirror, he sees two motorcycles relentlessly pursuing them, their headlights piercing the darkness, their riders' faces hidden behind menacing helmets. Their guns glint menacingly in the dim light. Luca's voice off-screen. I thought I was done with all this, but the past never dies. It runs after you. A sharp gunshot shatters the stillness, shattering the window beside Luca. He reacts instantly, swerving sharply to avoid the deadly bullet. The sedan brushes against the damp walls of the narrow alleyway. The motorcycles blaze past, kicking up water and debris in their wake. Scene 2. Interior, Secret Command Center, night aloft, bathed in the cool glow of numerous monitors. On the large monitor, a map of Milan, Italy, flickers to life, pinpointing Luca's location with flashing red dots. Elena, into the earpiece. Luca, 2 motorcycles are behind you. Head towards the square. I'll clear the traffic lights for you. Scene 3. Exterior Cathedral, square night. The rain has stopped. The square is deserted, bathed in the soft glow of street lamps. The sedan screeches to a halt. Luca jumps out, gun in hand, his face grim and alert. The 2 motorcycles close in, surrounding him. Motorcyclist number 1 raising his helmet, his face half hidden. You have nowhere to escape, Ferry. Black Phoenix wants your head. Luca, his voice steady and calm. Fredo? Then you'll have to come get it. Silence hangs heavy in the air, punctuated only by the distant sound of sirens. Then, a flurry of gunshots erupts, shattering the stillness. Glass and sparks fly. In the blink of an eye, Luca dispatches the hitman with icy precision. His every move calculated, efficient, deadly. The motorcycles topple to the ground, their riders slumped over their handlebars, lifeless. The square falls silent again. Only the echo of gunshots lingers in the air. Scene 4. Interior, hidden apartment night. A bare, dimly lit room with peeling paint. Luca bandages his arm, his face set in grim determination. Elena joins him, holding a tablet displaying a coded message. Elena, they released this list on their encrypted channels. Your name is next. On the tablet screen, Luca Ferry blazes in big, bold letters, topping the dreaded blacklists. Luca, who's behind it? Elena, an infiltrato. Someone who knows your move. SC, N5, EXD, RIOR, BERLIN, Port Warehouse. Night dark, imposing warehouse's line. The docks. Luca, dressed in dark clothes, walks briskly, his eyes scanning his He slips unnoticed into a side entrance. Inside, A group of criminals is unloading crates from a truck, their faces obscured by shadows. Luca watches intently, hidden in the darkness. When the coast is clear, he strikes, launching into a violent, brutal hand-to-hand combat, delivering swift kicks and punches. He uses improvised weapons like a lethal ballet, knocking out one thug after another. Finally, only he remains standing, breathing heavily amidst the groaning figures on the ground. Panting, he searches the area, finding a dossier. He opens it. Inside, a Black Phoenix logo and satellite photos of various locations, including the place where he just fought. He finds a small slip of paper with a handwritten note. Agent Alpha. Underneath, a name. Richie? Luca murmurs. It's not over, Richie. A close-up of his face, his eyes hard and determined. Scene 6. Outside Nightport, Hamburg night. The scene shifts to a port in Hamburg, Germany. Stacks of containers loom like silent sentinels under the soft glow of distant lights. A nondescript van is parked discreetly. Inside, armed men sit around a table, counting banknotes. Luca observes them from the shadows, his face partially hidden, his eyes narrowed. Connected via headset, Elena provides instructions. Elena, your contact is inside, but be careful. He's not exactly an ally. From the shadows emerges Dante Moreau, 38, a seasoned mercenary, elegant but worn suit, his face bearing the scars of his profession. His demeanor is calm, even in the heat of the moment. He holds a machine gun in his left hand. Dante softly, almost to himself. Fairy? I didn't think you'd accept my invitation. Luca? Dry. I'm not here to make